CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four. The 20th year of coverage of the NCAA Championship brings you to Dayton, Ohio. First round action, outstanding 8-9 matchup. The Tennessee Volunteers of the SEC, the Charlotte 49ers out of Conference USA. The winner to take on top seed Illinois after their win over number 16 Northwestern State. Hello again, everyone. Tim Brando, and by my side, the coach, Rick Pitino, who joined CBS Sports coverage this year. It's great to have you back, and it's great to talk about really an outstanding player that I know you love to see flourish when they're really young, and Rodney White is really young.
Rodney White, one of the premier freshmen in the country, if not players in the country, shooting nearly 50% from the field. And you're going to see just a great, great young man tonight because he has all the skills. Obviously,
this is a Tennessee team, Rick, that began the year 16-1, ranked number 4 in the country, then hit the skids at midseason. Their coach fell under tremendous scrutiny through the course of the year, and now they really fight and scratch and claw and make their way in as a number 8 seed.
Well, will the real Tennessee please stand up? They opened up 16-1. That was not the meat of the schedule. Then they go to the meat of the schedule, and it gets a lot more difficult playing in the toughest conference, the SEC.
This will be a free-flowing game with two teams that really love to get up and down the floor. We talk about Rodney White, but he's got a lot of talent with him. Joby Thomas being one, and Diego Guevara, who's played so well. Kincaid Jones, an outstanding player in the Conference USA tournament, and James Zimmerman, Yarborough, Victor, Slay, Harris, and Higgins, the starting 5 for Tennessee. Bobby Lutz, in his 3rd year, he has owned the Conference USA tournament, winning it 2 of the last 3 years. In fact, Charlotte's won it as a team 4 of the last 5. And Jerry Green, in his 4th year as Tennessee's head coach, 3-4 in the NCAA tournament, but Rick, he took the team to the Sweet 16 last year, losing to North Carolina. That's the first time in the history of Tennessee basketball they've gotten that deep into March Madness.
And 4 consecutive NCAA appearances. That's only the 2nd time in school history. How they fall into such scrutiny with that is beyond me.
David Hall, Frank Bozzoni, and Ruben Ramos, our officials for this afternoon's game. David Hall will tip it up. And the opening tap is controlled to the Volunteers, and Tony Harris, and usually as Harris goes, so go the Volunteers. He's an enigmatic player. If his shot is falling, then the Tennessee team becomes much more difficult to handle.
Well, in 6 NCAA appearances, collectively he's only scored 30 points.
Victor of Duck Under. Isaiah Victor, senior from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Joby Thomas will be running Higgins through a number of screens today. He's perpetual motion on the floor.
One of the premier 3-point shooting teams, 4th in the nation.
White, too strong, pounding the boards offensively. Finally, it's taken down by Yarborough. Ron Slay had an outstanding SEC tournament. He's a true leader for this team, and in fact, in the last couple of weeks, has been much more verbal. Yarborough knocks down the 3. Just like that, 5-0 Tennessee. Conventional wisdom, Rick, is that because Charlotte likes to get up and down the floor, it helps the Volunteers in this 8-9 matchup.
I would think so. It's warfare in the low post early on.
Guevara getting the pick from White, running past Harris. Nice idea, counted and a foul. Foul against Tony Harris.
Volunteers foul number 14, Tony Harris, his first.
Comes off the pick and roll, sees the opening, goes down the slot, takes the contact, and uses the glass. Don't really see the foul, maybe a slight bump on the way to the basket.
Diego Alejandro Guevara from Valencia, Venezuela. Carabobo, his wife Patricia, will be giving birth to their first child. There she is. He used to blow kisses to her, but Coach Luke said he didn't get back on defense quite quickly enough, so that has come to a...
That's a slow kiss.
That's right. That's come to a halt now that he's a veteran of NCAA tournament play. Slay quickly double team. You can see Bobby Lutz has scouted this team well, because when they run the ball through Slay, Tennessee becomes a much better basketball team. Foul goes against Zimmerman, the senior from High Point, North Carolina.
Well, he has to gather himself, react to the defense, and pass the ball right away. He had 4 guys surrounding him, and he held on to it. He has to release the basketball right away.
Higgins will trigger in the inbounds pass. Slay lost it on the way up, but a foul prior to that as the double team was there. Kincaid Jones, a senior from Lillington, North Carolina, transfers from Southwest Missouri State, picks up the foul. Kincaid Jones had an unbelievable Conference USA championship game, 8 of 11 from the floor, and leading that team to a win over Cincinnati. Big games that Slay has had have generally meant W's for Tennessee.
Well, you can see the way he commands position in a low post. He's going to use his body very well around the basket. He's got a nice touch, although he missed 2 free throws.
Guevara pushes it quickly for Charlotte. Zimmerman for 3.
Three-point basket by James Zimmerman.
If you're going to double down on the strong side, you have to rotate over. You cannot give this team an easy 3-point shot. There was no one in his area.
After 5 unanswered for the Volunteers to open, Charlotte with 6 straight, and they lead by 1.
To show some zone, little 2-3 zone.
Higgins led the Southeastern Conference in 3-point shooting efficiency for much of the year. Some would argue that he didn't launch enough shots. Comes up dry with his first try. Good entry pass to Jones. Not there. Yarborough rips it down for Tennessee. Isaiah Victor finds Slay, cutting to the hoop. Outstanding play.
Basket by Ron Slay.
That's a little more unselfishness, something that I'm sure Jerry Green likes seeing at this stage of the season. Winner of this game to take on Illinois. Slay, a little contact inside with Kincaid Jones.
Here's that pass. Here's the double team. He reacts, sees the man rolling down the lane. The defense has to gather themselves and rotate to the inside. That was poor rotation by the defense.
Zimmerman will trigger in the inbounds pass for the 49ers. Charlotte was known as UNCC, North Carolina Charlotte. Officially, the school name is still that, but the director of athletics and the president of the university have decided that they'd rather be known as Charlotte. I think it's probably a wise move on their part, although they are still part of the North Carolina State School family.
Well, it's easier on the cheerleaders. I mean, let's go Charlotte is a lot easier.
You think of UNCC, though, you think of Cornbread Maxwell, that unbelievable semifinal game won the last second by Al McGuire's Marquette Warriors. Isaiah Victor puts it in. That, of course, was in 1977, but some say that Rodney White is the best player that Charlotte's had since Cornbread Maxwell. The foul spotted against
now here's
Tennessee.
The pass from Slay, backdoor to Victor.
Volunteers foul number 14, Tony Harris, his second.
Tony Harris just got his second, Rick, and that's concerning enough to get Terrence Woods up along with Harris Walker. It's Harris Walker that checks into the game.
Harris Walker in for Tony Harris. For
as Tony Harris takes the seat. Isaiah Victor out to a good start. White. Oh, the dexterity. Now you see why they compare him to Cornbread.
Well, I was part of an NCAA tournament being Jim Boeheim's assistant when Charlotte beat Syracuse, but Cedric didn't get up that high.
Zimmerman, a leaner, challenging Yarborough, and Isaiah Victor picks up the foul for Tennessee.
Here's the quick first step and the explosion to the basket. That's what you call going north and south, body to body. Go to the rim. Now, you don't get out of the way. This is not a bullfight. You don't pull the thing out of the way. You step up and draw the charge.
Yeah, Victor did play a little matador there, didn't he?
No question about it. Maybe having White come at me, maybe I'd get out of the way as well.
James Zimmerman won 2 national titles at Indian Hills in junior college. This is a winner, this young man. Bobby Lutz has recruited beautifully in the last few years. And Tennessee turns it over. Timeout. We're out to a cranking start in this 8-9 matchup. Tennessee leads by 1, and for those of you that are expecting the Indiana State-Oklahoma game in the South region, or the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky against Florida in the South, or Eastern Illinois against Arizona out in the Midwest, we'll be getting you to those games shortly. They'll be tipping a bit later. Here, an outstanding pace to this game for Jerry Green, whom I know you've known for a long time, tutored for some time with Dean Smith. Roy Williams, he was an assistant to him at Kansas before taking over at Oregon.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, that he's under a little bit of criticism, and it's really unfair criticism because the players he has are certainly very good, but you're not looking at right now lottery picks. So it really is a good basketball team.
Greg Gumbel in New York. We'll keep you updated on what happens between Charlotte and Tennessee and Dayton. Meanwhile, there is first-round action in the South. Up ahead, some of you will go to Memphis, where Indiana State will take on Oklahoma. Ian Eagle and Jim Spanarkel are there. We'll send others to New Orleans, to the Louisiana Superdome, where Western Kentucky is set to take on Florida. Jim Nance and Billy Packer are there for that. We'll send you off to your respective games right after this.
Wipe it up with some debris. And he wants to get rid of it. Well, don't miss a minute of action for live game updates. Go to March Mayhem's Tournament Live at the Internet's home of college basketball, cbs.sportsline.com, or AOL keyword. Teams to be playing an arena that's full and with basketball people that are knowledgeable. And this Dayton crowd really is.
It's the only act in town, the Dayton Flyers.
Isaiah Victor on the ball fake and off the ball. A whistle. Ron Slay was tied up. Goes against Rodney White. A little too much body between he and Slay. That's the third team foul now against the 49ers.
What player comes to mind when you think of the Dayton Flyers?
Wow, that's Chapman comes to my mind.
Chapman.
Yeah.
That's a terrible answer. Donnie May.
Donnie May, okay. Victor. Well, you know, sometimes a wealth of knowledge can be dangerous.
That's right. You don't have to be concerned about that.
11-8, Tennessee by 3. Stevens. Cam Stevens transferred from Purdue. Large role player for this Charlotte team. They have a collection of role players and a couple of stars and guys that can stick three-pointers. Thomas and Guevara. Terrence Woods. It's a young man that may have hit the biggest shot of the year on the road at South Carolina to send a game into overtime in the midst of a 5-game losing streak that the Volunteers were in. Otherwise, their tournament hopes could have been dashed.
All Tennessee has to do is go inside to out to get all the easy shots they want.
CBS celebrating its 20th anniversary of covering the NCAA basketball championship. Road to the Final Four from Memphis, Tennessee, the Pyramid, and this is first round action. 13th-seeded Indiana State.
The Sun Belt champions taking on Florida, a finalist a year ago. Temple has already advanced to
with Jim Spanarkel. Great start of the day here in Memphis. Curious to see how this matchup unfolds. Oklahoma has
Rodney White, his second.
Zimmerman was there to give the help. White gets his second.
Greg Gumbel in New York. We'll keep you updated on what happens between Charlotte and Tennessee. But next in sight, number 2 seed in the Midwest, Arizona. The Wildcats ready to take on Eastern Illinois at the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. We'll send you off to Vern Lundquist and Bill Raftery right after this.
We welcome you to a continuation of our 20th season of coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Not far from Union Station in downtown Kansas City, Kemper Arena, and inside we're set for the second game in the Midwest Regional first round. The 15th-seeded Panthers of Eastern Illinois taking on the second-ranked Arizona Wildcats. Earlier today, The Butler Bulldogs won their first NCAA contest since 1962. They await the winner of this game in the second round on Sunday. Good afternoon once again, everybody.
Jumper Newton, long three, and Oklahoma leads at 5-0.
A little better than his first one. The confidence after missing an air ball. The first shot you take, come right back and knock one from long range.
Just about 2 minutes gone by here in the first half. Wren takes it baseline, and he travels. Well, Indiana State, Terre Haute, Indiana, and their third NCAA tournament appearance. Back-to-back last time they were in it prior to last season. Who could forget 1979, Larry Bird and the great run to the NCAA title game before losing to Michigan State.
A familiar name. Maybe not to all the players who come through Indiana State anymore, but that's one of the questions they ask him. Do you know who Larry Bird is, the legend?
Has not been around the program as much this year after leaving the head coaching position with the Indiana Pacers in the NBA and moving down south to Florida full-time. Oklahoma in front 5-0, using some clock, 10 to shoot. Here's McGee, lefty delivery is good.
Good decision there to take a better shot. He had the open 17-footer, but the decision to put it on the floor and get a little closer, make things happen. The Sooners looking pretty good here.
Wren sets the screen for Menser, a two-man game. Here's Wren, flicks it cross court. Howard can't hit it. And the rebound by Haywood. Indiana State 0 for 5 shooting in the early going. Look out up top. And too high for McGee. Price had a little too much on it. Well, Oklahoma, out of Norman, Oklahoma, thought of as a football school. There's no denying that after winning yet another national championship this year. They got in with the automatic bid after sweeping through the Big 12 tournament. And a win over Texas, 54-45 in the final. Inside, Keelan blocks.
Smart drive, too. You're down 7-0. And you want to get something going towards the basket. See the ball go through the hoop. Everybody on the floor gets confidence when that occurs.
And it's 7-2 Sooners. Out high, Price controls it. Inside, Haywood couldn't hold on to it, and here's Menser.
Long way to deliver the ball from the long top of the key out by the three-point stripe.
Sooners get back defensively. Menser matched up with Price. Block a bit overlooked because of the role that Menser and Wren play in the program, but this will be his team next year. On a spin, Wren, pretty, everything but the bucket.
A good shift to the left hand just then to avoid the block. Just can't get them to go down at their end.
On a crossover, Price takes the timeout as he hit the deck. And we'll step aside with 16:15 to play, first half, and the Sooners leading it 7-2.
With the rebound. Marcus has fouled out of only one game this season.
McPherson on another nice rebound. Giving up some size inside, but very active.
And that call goes against Parker of Florida.
McPherson only averaging 3.6 rebounds a game, but on both ends of the floor, he's kept things alive.
Gators trying to go inside a couple of times to challenge Marcus. That one time he fouled out was the opening game of the year.
Well, Jim, you got to figure he's had 69 fouls and in 30 games, so just a little over 2 a game, which is really solid.
And Coach Felton said 2 reasons why. First off, he's so smart, not going to commit a silly foul. And number 2, we're strong defensively as a team. We're always in the right position.
Yeah, they may be, but look at their team out there. They've got nobody with great size to help him. So that shows that he is playing an extremely intelligent basketball game not to get in trouble.
Nelson.
Wow, bad shot, good defense. Another rebound for Marcus.
Ahead, McPherson, twist move, and Bonner didn't like the call.
No, he hurt he either jammed his finger because McPherson rolled right back into him.
He got hit in the hip.
He got hit in the hip. He's all right. And there is a good reverse by McPherson. And there you can see where Bonner gets hit right on that hip.
McPherson, the only senior on the Western Kentucky squad.
One of the things, if you're Billy Donovan, with what's happened to you this year in terms of injuries, Brett Wright, who is going to have an operation on that foot that's given him so much trouble. Teddy DePay out for a good portion of the season with back problems. Hamilton out for the season completely with a knee problem. Just amazing they've been able to play so well.
6-0 Hilltoppers. Almost 3 minutes into the game.
So far, Robinson being able to stay right in front of Nelson with his defense.
Florida failing to score on its first 5 trips.
DePay wants the jumper.
And last touch by Western Kentucky.
McPherson did a good job on Dupay getting right out there and putting that hand right in his face. Dupay tried to go ahead and pretend he was fouled. Officials weren't buying it. Dupay very quick on his release of his jump shot.
Bonner, three-pointer.
That's a foul.
And a chance for the rare four-point play.
Marcus too late getting out there, and Bonner stepping about 3 or 4 steps beyond the three-point line to nail that one. Yes, a good post up on his part. Bonner, of course, last year a substitute who had a pretty solid game against Duke University. Remember in Florida's win in the NCAA tournament. He's come on strong this year now that he's moved into major playing time.
He's really helped bridge the gap with both, well, especially with Wright out of the lineup. And as Billy said, Wright and Hamilton out for the remainder of the season. 8 scholarship players, 2 walk-ons. That's all 10 players dressed for Florida.
That's straight man-to-man. Parker on Robinson. Dupay down here on a much bigger man who can shoot over him good enough. Gets a good look.
Ball loose and out to Nelson.
Haslam doing a good job beating Marcus that time to the ball, but now it gets thrown away. Western Kentucky, Jim, showing that they think they belong on this floor. There's no intimidation in this early part of this ball game.
They have been, as you said, 18-2 well, since Christmas time, and they've been blowing people off the floor.
At Louisiana Tech in overtime by 1 point, and at South Alabama, 2 tough places to win a ball game on that road. Those are the only 2 that they lost. And there's another nice shot by Marcus, and even with the double team potentially coming, he shoots right over Haslam.
Hey,
duck under by Dupay.
Well, he can weave his way through a lot of traffic. Haslam outside. And Western Kentucky ball, timeout on the floor. Hilltoppers with a strong showing here at the start in New Orleans.
There's the cut. And the ball knocked out of bounds. It will be the Panthers' ball. And Lute Olson, now 66 years of age, a season filled with such tragedy because of the loss of Bobby, his wife of 47 years. Bobby died on New Year's Day. And the low point of the season, I think, for this team came in a loss. Oh, what a backdoor play. Wow, what that was great.
They're clever. And Hill's great with the puppies. Gets him up and down. Nice little deft pass from the post.
Todd Bergman with that pass. And it's a 7-4 Eastern Illinois lead.
See, now this is the offense. That nice duck in out of it. Very appropriate, huh?
Swat stop in the lane. Walk.
He did. He got the feet moving. How nice is the offensive set? I mean, we're going to get the little post pass in here and a little slip to the goal. I mean, that is just solid, huh? And the stretch across the ward off by Hill. I mean, this team can bite you in a little different way. We saw Britton, who's a lefty that likes to go to the rim. He can also shoot it. Oh, he's a tough out. He's alone. Kyle Hill, MVP in the OVC tourney.
3 of 4 for 7 points. Here's the drive by Richardson. Nice pitch to Woods for the jam.
Now, how quick is he? Just ability around the rim we've seen during the course here. Richard Jefferson, but also with the dribble and the find.
There's a little attempt to put back. It's no good. Thompson up and under. Woods with the block. Here comes Arizona.
Should have come back to this side with his right hand.
Back to Jefferson. There's the empty pass to Mike. Like the pump bank and off the glass for 2 more.
You got to write a note to home saying help, or mommy, I need you. He just loads up in that lane. You just can't stop him, Michael Wright.
9-8, 16 to go first half.
Hill and Domerkamp great without the ball, Vern. We've seen it in tape. And very tough. Look at this.
They can't leave him alone like that.
Well, it's his footwork that causes the problem. Hopefully Jefferson will be all right as he gets up off the floor. They just set their man up, and then those post guys get in position to rub them off.
Kyle Hill, 10 of the first 12 points. This one from way outside.
When they go down the floor, that's where that size comes into play for Oklahoma. But Menser has to make good decisions, and that's where it'll come into play for Indiana State.
Off the Menser miss. Rebound knocked around and controlled by Price. Terrence Avery has checked in for Indiana State.
Look at the double team. Whenever McGee touches it.
It's McGee with Avery. Now a switch off. Kick out for Newton.
Good recovery there by Mentzer.
Newton off balance. Got it off. Knocked around. Wren trying to control it. And it's Marcus Howard breaking away.
Every time the Sooners touch the ball within 10 feet and closer to the basket, they're going to be double teamed, and it's kind of a run and duck.
Wren pump fake. Out for Mentzer. 7-5 Oklahoma. Wren thought about it. Defended by Selvey. And a block.
Selvey showing you the long arms, not only the quick recovery into the lane, but defensively getting there quickly and covering and closing.
Price on the push, gives up his dribble. Out of the corner, Newton. Now it's Selvey, jacks up a three. Off the rim. Fight for the loose ball, and Indiana State claims it with Matt Berry. The freshman able to lead the break, but Mentzer turns it over, and that's rare. He leads all of college basketball in assist to turnover ratio, better than 4-1. Hey America, Survivor's on this Wednesday. Don't miss America's most watched show, Survivor, on a special night, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. So a rare mistake by Michael Mentzer. And they are tending to Kelly Newton.
It's not a guy that's going to take that shot. Jim, here's what I was talking about, a little aggressive. Watch this left elbow shot. Bam. I want to let you know, fella, I may be from Bulgaria, and you meant to be from the Final Four last year, but I'm on this floor today.
Bonell Colas is also into the Gators. Major Parker on the drive.
Major Parker.
Good dribbling by Robinson.
Rolls in for the Hilltoppers, and from the bench, he comes in with a three.
That was made by Robinson. There's Haslam beating Marcus down the floor, and an errant pass.
More subs coming in for Western Kentucky.
Parker with a good extension, Jim, on that drive to keep the ball away from Marcus. Now, Marcus is going to sit right here. It's interesting to see. Last year at this time, remember what Florida would do when you had to go to the bench with your regulars. Boy, they would just come on with the second wave, and that is what really used to blow things open on their great drive to the Final Four.
They run you off the floor with their second team. Nate Williams, number 30 in for Western Kentucky. Reynaldo Curry, also number 11. Don't miss a minute of the action. Live updates. Go to March Mayhem's Tournament Live at the Internet's home of college basketball, cbs.sportsline.com. AOL keyword CBS Sports Line.
And here, despite the fact that the bench is not as deep, Florida right back out pressing. And with Green and Colas, they really have two wide guys out there right now. Long arms, second drive, baseline.
Oh, by McPherson. Oh! Western Kentucky stunning Florida here at the start.
Beautiful baseline drive. 2 in a row now by Western Kentucky. And they are playing some D out front. DePay being guarded by a bigger man. Can't get that jump shot off on the screens.
Colas. Look at the Hilltoppers.
Boy, McPherson is everywhere. He's huffing and puffing a little bit, but going to the rebounds at both ends. Curry into the ball game now. Rolls has DePay inside. They didn't get him the ball.
McPherson thought he might take it. Steps in. Got it. And a double-digit lead for the Hilltoppers.
Billy Donovan feels that this Western Kentucky club is a tough out for them.
Timeout, Gators.
On the Sooner roster.
Lack of depth becomes a problem, eh?
7-7. Matt Berry puts it on the floor. Mentzer looks to the interior. A back in by Avery. Strokes the fadeaway. And it's rebounded by Haywood. Oklahoma has missed its last 7 shots from the field. Nice deflection by Berry to get a hand on it. And out of bounds with 27 left to shoot.
Indiana State actually controlling the tempo for the last 4 minutes or so of this basketball game from a defensive perspective, really not allowing Oklahoma to get into their sets that easily. When the ball, as I mentioned, pops down to the baseline or the blocks, Indiana State with a good converge.
McGee calls over Price to take over in the half-court set. Under 12 minutes to play now, first half. Heskett, defended by Berry. Here's the muscular Johnson.
Keep him out of the lane.
Shot clock is down to 8. Johnson, the leaner, way off. Fight for the loose ball. Haywood couldn't grab it cleanly. Picks it up off the deck, but missed it. Mensah on the push.
They look to run the ball up the floor, but when they don't have something, they make good decisions in terms of turking it out, reloading, looking over the floor again, and just run their sets.
Jabril Conte has checked back in for Indiana State, and he's got it with 14 to shoot.
Giving him a little room, too. McGee standing there defensively, allowed him to shoot that 15-footer if he wants it.
Sycamore spread the floor. Keelan block, strokes the fadeaway.
Well, the ability to take advantage of his quickness. Put the ball on the floor, make something happen, a little drift from the basket, but tough to block that shot when you're fading away.
A 9-0 Indiana State run to take a 2-point lead, their first lead.
And look where the ball is, down on the blocks, and it causes the turnover for Berry going the other way.
Off the giveaway, Berry slows it down. 9-7 Sycamores. We've already seen a 12 seed knock off a 5 seed here in Memphis. Right now the 13 seed in front of a 4 seed. Mensah, open look. Can't get the 3 to go down.
Pretty good recovery there to get that shot. McGee doing a good job defensively, also at the boards.
Inside. Turns it over.
A little extra step there by Haywood. The catch, the slide of the feet.
Oklahoma scoreless in its last 11 trips down the floor, and it's Indiana State in front by 2.
Folks can get a lot of good food.
Monday on CBS, what's worse than an annoying father-in-law? Losing your annoying father-in-law. The manhunt begins on an all-new King of Queens Monday on CBS.
And right away, the full court pressure. Edgerson has the ability to take away your vision on the inbounds, the big body.
There's the pass to Dummerkamp. Oh, he had Bergman underneath.
Tough one was, though, those long arms negating it. Nice pump.
Here's Britton for 3 off the front rim. Into the hands of Arenas, and Arizona wants to run. At the other end, Woods with the pump, puts it up, got it, and shoots a free throw.
How about the confidence of Arenas knowing Woods could gather it? The hardest pass to catch is that one on a straight line. You got to look over your shoulder or at least turn and face the basketball. But look at the big guy out ahead of the pack and defensively covering, but they just couldn't squeeze, couldn't sandwich Lauren Woods. And as noted earlier, his play, I think, when he plays well, this is such a tough team. He's able to run the floor, get into the low post position. He's got some variety or spice in his releases.
Well, Bill, by his own accounting, he termed this year garbage. Said he hadn't played well.
Well, it's a little overstated,
don't you think?
Well, I think his aspirations and everybody telling him how good he was, and should I have left school? Should I have stayed? And not maybe being in getting the touches necessary because of this great talent. But now well within himself as they zone it up.
Lauren Woods missed the NCAA last year because of the back injury that cost him the last 12 games of the year. And then he was suspended by the NCAA for the first 6 games of this season. Talked about the rough start for Arizona. That was part of it. Jefferson suspended for a game, and then the death of Bobby Olson. Here's the putback. It will not fall.
Got to finish. Good strong. Mac got him himself in position to attack.
Luke Walton, 6-point Arizona lead. Arenas, quick catch and jump.
That's why they push the ball. They get you out of shorts. The identifying is incorrect.
And a significant run now for the Wildcats of Arizona at 12-2.
And not anything easy around the rim.
Jason Gardner. Britton back, Gardner goes right by him.
It's one of those you say now, I've never seen anybody that big or that quick on a counter play. Gardner electrified in the open floor.
Wildcats open up a 10-point lead, a 14-2 run.
Oh my goodness, and not paying attention to detail as Hill tries to make the pass to Bergman and just rattling a little bit, but Arizona will do it to you with the great talent The ability, the open floor. Gardner, the point guard, to the rim with some speed.
In Kansas City, the other Midwest region bracket shows Butler, a team that had a near miss on an outstanding make by Mike Miller in Florida in the opening round last year. They advance after blowing out Wake Forest today. And that means a potential matchup with Arizona would await. That's no easy out for Lute Olson's team. And you know of how many second-round punch-outs that Coach Olson's had to face through the years.
Well, certainly that was an ambush today.
Yeah.
What Butler did to Wake Forest was just incredible.
Here, the Volunteers of Tennessee have led throughout, but Charlotte always within shouting distance. Now trailing by only one. Tony Harris back on the floor. He left the game with 2 fouls as Yarborough is fouled. Attacking the glass, James Zimmerman picks up the personal. But having Harris back on the floor is very meaningful with Slay on the bench now with 3 fouls.
Well, the first thing I do if I'm Bobby Lutz is I go right at him and try to get him to pick up his third. It's a big factor in the game. So you have to see, post somebody up, drive to the basket, try to pick up his 3rd foul.
Story of a Jekyll and Hyde team, this Tennessee club, 16-1 out of the gates. And of course, grand expectations because of last year's run to the Sweet 16 and much of that talent returning for the year. Jerry Green, so successful as a head basketball coach at Oregon, but a different circumstance there. His team was primarily an overachieving team with the Oregon Ducks, and he inherited a lot of talent from Kevin O'Neill that was highly sought after, highly recruited personnel.
I don't buy the Jekyll and Hyde thing. I really do not. If you look at the schedule before the season, I can tell you where they're going to get on a run and where they're going to be cold.
Yeah.
They played some inferior teams early on in the year, and then they got into the SEC conference play. I think their record's indicative of who they are.
Well, it should have been only a 1-1 situation, and that's why we had the stoppage of play. Referees understood that and corrected it. So that's why there was no second shot opportunity at the free throw line. I think the shocking game, Rick, was the Syracuse blowout at the Carrier Dome. And when Tennessee did that, it did raise the expectations of their fan base. And then when they got into conference play, you're right, teams within your league know how to defend you. Sometimes when you play outside your league, teams don't know as much about you.
You can't base expectations on one night. It was a great game, certainly an off night by Syracuse, and you can't say a team is great based on one night.
Rodney White at the free throw line. Young man from Philadelphia that's just been outstanding. Look at those big games. And against premium competition in his league.
The most impressive thing about Rodney White is the fact that he shoots 50% from the field. You don't look at how many points a person gets, what does he shoot from the field? Because if you're taking 23, 24 shots and you go to the foul line a certain number of times, you should score.
Yeah, he got 26 against Louisville. So you better put that in the back of your mind, Coach.
Well, enjoy working with Bobby Knight tomorrow, Tim. Lubbock, Texas just got a call. CBS will feature a new color analyst to work with Tim Brando.
Just because he couldn't work with...
He sold me down the river.
That's right, he couldn't work with Brando. That's... this is my 6th tournament. You're my 6th analyst. What does that tell you? You're on a short leash.
Bad breath.
Joby Thomas can't hit, and underneath another foul spotted. Victor and Yarborough were in there as Cam Stevens went to the rack, and Vincent Yarborough is tagged with the foul.
Vincent Yarborough, his second.
2 on Yarborough, so he and Harris, Rick, each with 2, and 3 fouls for Ron Slay. So foul difficulty, even with this deep Tennessee team, could be a factor.
I'd still like to see a pick and roll and go at Harris. Go at him, let him fight over the screen and take him down and see if there's a bump, pick up his 3rd foul.
Coming up on Singular at the half, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg, they have no problem working with one another. They'll be updating you on all of the tournament news, all the scores and highlights, plus a live look at all the action going on in the tournament. That's all coming up on Singular at the half.
Great substitution. Gets Harris out of the game with 3:31 left in the half, making sure he doesn't pick up his 3rd foul.
And you see Terrence Woods back on the floor for the Volunteers. Well, Ron Slay and Tony Harris, inside and outside, mean a lot to this club. And you had Yarborough as sort of that tweener. Those are three guys that you really want on the floor down the stretch in a matchup like this with Charlotte.
No question about it. And certainly taking Harris out of the game is a smart move to make.
Great look and catch, knowing exactly where the basket is. But when they went into the Final Four last year against Michigan State, up to that point, they had scored 183 bench points. Michigan State only 43. So, you know, it really used to be 10 against 5 the way they played. This year not getting that, but they've gotten some good hustle defensively in this game.
McPherson back on the floor for Western Kentucky. Colas and Parker return for the Gators, and Dupay.
There's a switch inside, puts Marcus in great shape.
He had Colas behind him, backed him in. Boyden delivered it to him. He had just returned to the lineup. Little Florida run here. A 12-4 flurry by Florida. 3-point lead for Western Kentucky.
Damerkamp. Oh, got it finally.
Boy, he had to work, and Jefferson did a great job defensively. Good counter.
Under 9 to play, first half. Jefferson brings it back outside. Right.
Touch.
Pretty.
Touch, huh?
Just to roll.
I'm sitting here saying, why not force him right? He comes across the lane like that. Get him to go baseline. Stand him up a little bit.
Ryan Kelly on the floor, number 45. Pick and roll. And Kyle Hill back to Kelly. Misses that one. Not a bad shooter, though.
This is where he's tough, right in here. He's
yes, indeed.
Ooh, got an, let's see. Damerkamp holding the ankle. I mean, they would be in serious problems if he cannot play.
Right ankle.
Yeah. Gingerly walking off, too. Right in the middle of the lane, he went down there. Probably stepped on a foot, whether it was Justin Wessels or others. Walking a little better as he approaches. Here he jumps, and right away you can see the foot buckle. So he must have stepped on the toes of some others.
36-22. 8 minutes to go, first half. Jefferson with the skip pass to Walden. Drives. Pump fake. Tries to find Wright. Cutting toward the basket. Well, they did not need this. Eastern Illinois. Damerkamp on the bench.
About this Tennessee ball club is they're not having a great deal of fun. There's a lot of stress in the body language of almost every player on the team. It's almost like we have to win. We have to certainly get this monkey off our back.
Yeah, and in some measure, Jerry Green, I think, has not been able to quite figure it out. You're trying to get players to buy into your system as a coach, and many times, you know, you can encourage all you want, but particularly with the seniors, guys like Hathaway and veteran players like Harris, sometimes it's easy for them not to buy in because they know, hey, it's the end of my road and things just haven't gone our way.
Well, focus what you hear on the inside, not the outside. And that's the best thing for any basketball team. Stay within yourself. Concentrate on the team. Full court pressure. Little denial of the point guard back. Now you have to get a trap to finish it. There it is. Out of rotation.
Oh, that was excellent defensive work, and it leads to a travel.
That was an excellent press. First really excellent rotation I've seen in the tournament so far as full court pressure is concerned.
Well, Western Kentucky leading Florida by 3, and of course Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will keep you posted on all of those games at halftime. Even if Billy Donovan's team happens to win the game, a matchup with Temple, that is a tough out potentially in a second-round game for anyone, including the way Florida likes to play.
Well, Billy Donovan has done a great job this year with a patch-up basketball team, but I don't think he has a great basketball team this year. I think they're playing hard, they're playing well, but I would not be surprised to see them go down today.
Hayslip puts it in. Well, they were one of my Final Four choices. I think they fought through more this season with their mass unit than just about any team in the country. Finishing 11-1 in the last 12 games in the SEC. with a team that had lost 3 of its best players at different points of the season. Stevens can't hit, and Hayslip with the release to Grindstaff.
Now you need ball reversal. One more pass. That's excellent action.
Off the front iron, long rebound to Terrence Woods. Good denial by Stevens, and then the foul by Victor.
Well, that was a late pass. You need to pass the ball away from the defense, not to the offense.
Isaiah Victor picks up his 3rd. And now Hathaway will be called upon. So that means Harris, Slay and Victor each with 3. Tony Harris with 2 for Tennessee. So foul difficulty has got to be etched in Jerry Green's gray matter for the remainder of this game.
Here's where you have to be careful. The unit that's on the floor for Tennessee is not a cohesive one. It's not where the talent lies right now, so you have to watch it. You're up 3. You got to make sure you don't go in that locker room down 10.
Saturday on CBS, a sting operation exposes police corruption. Now the toughest fight against crime is between the cops themselves. Don't miss Craig T. Nelson in the district Saturday on CBS.
I like the unit even less now with Hathaway coming in the game because you don't have a lot of good passes and ball handlers. If Charlotte could change defenses now and come with a little pressure, they can turn Tennessee over.
Charlotte's last 8 points, Rick, have been at the free throw line. That tells you that they've gotten more aggressive, and it means that the guys ineligible in the penalty box, so to speak, are not around. And we're looking at a floor now with Higgins, Hayslip, Woods, Hathaway, and Grindstaff for Tennessee. Diego Guevara, joined by Ken K. Jones, Jermaine Williams, Demond Brown.
A lot of motion being used.
Joby Thomas making up the 5 on the floor for Charlotte. Hayslip. Another quick shot. Higgins kept that one alive. Recovered to the 49ers. Excellent work by Jermaine Williams to save it.
He's looking to pull the shot. Now he sets him up.
See the shooting story. 7 of 16 inside the arc. 4 for 12 downtown, and Thomas finally connects with a tray.
That's a design play, a weak side stagger screen down for a 3-point shot.
That's his first bucket of the afternoon. Joby Thomas is an outstanding 3-point shooter, particularly from a catch and shoot situation. Hathaway rejected by Jones. Yes, and a foul. Charles Hathaway pounding the glass and his chest.
He's fired up.
Charlotte foul number 3, Ken K. Jones.
Here he takes it strong. Block shot. He follows it, stays with it, gets the 3-point play. Another angle. He drops the ball, takes his eyes off it, and stays with it. Look at his reaction. He's fired up. Charles Hathaway, I guess they're a little concerned about how much he's improved throughout the years. You know, certainly the one thing he'll have to work on at the conclusion of the season is his body. He has to become stronger and quicker with his upper body.
Now, you talked about stress levels for this team. They didn't look particularly happy. Coach, can you channel anger sometimes into success? If you play angry, can you, for at least a period of time, turn that into success on the floor?
I think you have to play hard. They need a victory right now, and I think all that will change for them.
Thomas not there, and Yarborough picks up another foul. That would mean 3 on him, 3 on Slay, and 3 on Victor. And going much deeper into Jerry's bench than he'd like.
I don't agree with bringing Yarborough back in with 2. They took Harris out so he doesn't pick up his 3rd. You got Slay resting him. You can't bring Yarborough back and let him pick up his 3rd. Now they're in serious trouble.
1:03 remaining, and that's one of those where you're thinking, is there an advantage for any player? And that's the official's call. He was creating an advantage for himself, and that's why he was whistled with a foul.
Well, I wouldn't have called that foul. It was a nickel and dime foul, certainly, but Yarborough has to realize that he can't touch anyone going over the back.
I thought you'd work in an old nickel dimer for Raftery's sake.
Well, it certainly was, but you can't pick up your 3rd that way.
Yep. We're tied at 40. 7 lead changes.
Here comes a stagger for a 3.
Higgins Off the front iron, over the back. Foul will go against Harris Walker, the sophomore from Chattanooga.
Both of these teams are running plays for the three-point shot. They're running what I call a staggered screen. That's when two men in a line go down and headhunt the defensive man to free up someone for a three-point shot.
More and more we're seeing that in the college game, particularly, you know, Rick, you really instituted it, I felt, at Kentucky, and it's been followed by many coaches. I don't know of a team really that does it better than Florida. Charlotte is a team that certainly relies on the three-point shot. And
well, in 1987, the Providence College Friars, where I was fortunate enough to coach, led the nation in three-point shooting. I think we took, and I said we were going to take an incredible number. I believe we took 15 per game.
Perception, right? It's all about perception. Well, you saw Christine, Bobby Lutz's daughter, with those fingers crossed. He wants his defense to have some wishful thinking here to stop Tennessee's three, and they won't. Terrence Woods makes it 43-41. 3 threes for Terrence Woods since coming into the game.
Okay, now what has to happen now, you can't go too early into this pick and roll. At 6 seconds, you want to go, not too early. They're going too early. No, he's smart enough to hold it out. He's waiting at 6 seconds. You don't want to give the other team a shot.
Guevara.
And he goes too early, but he got the follow-up.
Follow. Cam Stevens as if shot out of a cannon. How about that vertical leap? What a flush that was. Don't ever doubt the ability of Hops with these young men playing for Bobby Lutz. This is a very athletic team he has.
Certainly is. Both teams are very athletic.
Picked off by Stevens. And they close out the half with fury. Hey, sometimes a missed runner like Guevara's can be a good assist.
Here it comes off the front of the rim and the flush.
And with the clock.
Now with the clock. You want to go at 6. He goes a little early. They all challenge the shot, keeps it alive, and then the flush.
Spencer Tillman has head coach Jerry Green of Tennessee. Have to find a way to get his guys out of foul trouble. Greg Gumbel will be back with Singular at the half after this message and a word from your local CBS stations.
And Nelson's a very good dribbler, and he has that little pullback dribble that gets himself room, and he blows in there with that crossover. Nice cut. Kohler should have made that shot. Good cut to the basket. No execution at the end.
Western Kentucky hitting only 2 field goals in the last 9 minutes.
They just cannot get the ball into the big man. Florida doing a good job in this zone, packing things back.
Well, Curry was wide open.
He had to look, didn't he?
Here's the long shot. Misfire, and McPherson wanted a foul, but got no call.
Boy, Haslam doing a good job with his quickness and the way he has gotten himself and his body in such great shape. He's just given Marcus trouble out there, being so much quicker than he is.
Interesting to see what happens the last minute and a half here. Haslam outside. The Gators have the first lead of the day.
Haslam is, although he's playing low post on this team, he really is a forward because he can step out and take that shot. You won't see him shooting 3-pointers, but you'll see him step outside, force that big post man to have to go with him. And they are looking to try to get it to Marcus. Just no room.
Oh, a lot of pushing going on inside. No call. Curry off the Marcus screen, ties it at 26.
Well, they can be the Hilltoppers can be very thankful Curry's playing, because it's about been the only offense they've had in the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Curry was 6 off the bench. Oh, an offensive foul.
Nelson on the push. Give Curry credit on both ends of the floor. Really moving those feet nicely on defense, and Robinson's going to take his place.
15 foul in Florida, 5 on the Western Kentucky side as well. Boyden comes in for Western Kentucky.
We have a break in the
timeout call.
The
They're at halftime in Dayton, Ohio, but first half action going on in Kansas City, New Orleans, and Memphis. And Clark and I will bring you up to date right now.
CBA Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that believes in the value of self-expression.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg here in New York. Welcome to once again to Singular at the Half. Our score at halftime, not much to choose from between Charlotte and Tennessee. The 49ers and the Volunteers are tied at 43 apiece. South Region action in Memphis, Indiana State, and Oklahoma. The Sooners lead at 31-26. Final half minute of play. Let's take you there live. Ian Eagle and Jim Spanarkel.
17 seconds to play first half. 10 to shoot. Menser controlling for Indiana State. They trail by 5. Menser off the mark on a 3, and Oklahoma with 7 seconds to work with.
They have a foul to give to here if they recognize it.
Here's Price, 2 seconds. Newton pump fake, 1 second. Did he get the shot off? They count it off the window.
Terrific find just then, understanding the clock situation in particular. Boy, did he ever have to use the entire body and clock. You look at the open floor, a little twist towards the basket here. It goes straight at him. And here's the twist. Mensa forces the twist. Shot up. Woo.
Kelly Newton, 13 first half points. Brett Haber standing by with Oklahoma head coach Kelvin Sampson.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Coach, you said the 2 guys you were concerned about on this team were...
All right, Brett, coach, thank you very much. And Oklahoma has its largest lead at the break, 33-26. A late flurry, thanks in large part to the jump shooting ability of Kelly Newton.
Well, once again, those officials are instructed to, on those last second shots like that, to think about the horn and listen for the horn first and not the red light.
33-26, end of the first half. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this.
We have first half action going on in Kansas City, halftime in New Orleans, Memphis, and Dayton. We're about to bring you the ultimate update.
CBA Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that believes in the value of self-expression.
Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to Singular at the Half. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with this man, Clark Kellogg, and we are tracking what's going on in our second wave of games today in Kansas City, Eastern Illinois, and Arizona. This game is a 50-31 lead. The Wildcats are in charge, 11.5 to play in the first half. Let's take you there live and join Vern Lundquist and Bill Raftery.
Richard Jefferson shooting one more. This would give Arizona a 21-point lead. At one point, Bill Raftery, early in this half, they trailed Eastern Illinois 12-8.
And what Arizona did was ran their offense. Michael Wright, the beneficiary of a lot of touches. They pounded it inside, started to control that aspect. Defensively, shot blocks, changes, runouts, real solid defensive performance, getting easy looks and running their offense efficiently.
Kyle Hill, he's been terrific, but that's an air ball. He is the leading scorer for Eastern Illinois, not only in the season, but in the first half. Woods. Yep.
Too easy. Look at that pass. Gardner just knocking it down there. You've got to move the guy out. Be in front of him. 3-quarter. Don't let that entry come on that angle.
Woods with 13 points in the first half. And Arizona up by 22, 53-31.
And Rick Samuels has Domer Ken out. Nice deflection by Jeff. Now look at the numbers.
Out of the hands of Rod Henry. The ball on the floor. Michael Wright.
Jan Thompson with a takedown. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, highest first half this season, Oregon. And they're at 53 right now, going to the line. Now you look at the other side, Eastern Illinois had a classic come from behind in the Ohio Valley Conference Championship. They were facing Austin Peay. They found themselves down by 21 in the second half. They came back to win that.